I'm so excited today to talk to you about breathing. Now I know a lot of you will say, Chrissy, I breathe all my life. I don't need to know about breathing. But odds are there's something that you can gain out of this YouTube video, something that you may be doing wrong, or something that may just improve your performance that much more. With breathing, you always want to look at how you breathe at rest first and how your posture is at rest as well. So I want you to put your hands in your rib cage to start. I want you to just breathe normal. Now, how do you breathe? Do you breathe with your chest? Like that? Do you breathe sucking in? Like that? Do you breathe hunched? Do you breathe to one side more than the other? Take note of what's happening. I have you place your hands on your sides because I also want you to feel your rib cage. When you breathe in, does it expand? Does it expand sideways out into your hands, or does it not move at all? Are you just a pure belly breather? What is going on? When looking at posture, you also want to look at your ribs. You can look at your ribs just at rest here and notice, is one side shifted? Is one side poking out more than the other? What do you notice? And then you can place your thumbs right at your end of your sternum right here, and then your fingers along the bottom of that bottom rib cage. So just like this. And then what do you notice? Maybe you can't see it yourself, so you should look in a mirror, record it, even draw lines, and notice, is one side shifted more than the other? Is one flared? Is it a 90-degree angle, which it should be, or is it super wide? Is it super narrow? All of those things will tell us more. I'll get to that later. The other thing you can look at that will give you a clue is in standing. When you look to the side, again, you can record yourself, look in a mirror, all of those kind of things, and see, is your rib flared out like this? Typically you see this with anterior pelvic tilt, so your pelvis will probably be tilted out, your ribs might be flared up, and then you have a shortening of all of these muscles in the back. This can cause some really bad low back pain or just tension and tightness here all the time. And then it also leads to your diaphragm just not being as effective. So if you think about it, when your ribs are flared, or even if they're widened here, it puts that diaphragm at a more flat or elongated position, and then it doesn't work as effectively. You're not breathing as effectively because you're not putting as much air into your lungs. You're not filling them up to capacity. You're also not getting all of the air out of your lungs. So all of these things play an important role in tension. Everywhere that you might hold tension, range of motion, the way that your muscles are activated. So whether your hamstrings are lengthened when you're in an anterior pelvic tilt and your ribs are flared and these are shortened, and then all of a sudden, not only do you have maybe back pain or SI joint pain or radiation down, you might have hamstring injuries, or you just don't have as much capacity to contract your hamstring or your glute because they are at a lengthened position. I could go on and on about the importance of breathing and how it may affect you in your life right now and your performance and how you want to even just perform during the day, whether that's cooking or taking care of your kids or whether that's running an ultra marathon. All of it matters. Now we're going to assess a little bit more of how we breathe and how we can alter that breathing so that it's most effective for what we found with that resting posture. First, I want you on your back. You're going to have your knees bent and you're going to place your hands right on the inside of that ASIS or that hip bone in the front. So you're going to find those hip bones. You might have to press down and then roll on the inside of that hip bone so that you can feel those muscles when we're bracing, but you can also feel that air expand into your muscles as we're breathing in. You're going to take a big deep breath in. I want you to think about your whole abdominal canister, so your abs, the sides of your body, the back of your body, your pelvic floor, all to expand like a balloon. So it's going to expand in all directions, not just in your belly or just in your chest, okay? So everything's expanding. Take a big deep breath in and out. As you breathe out, I want you bracing. So those muscles should be popping up into your fingers. If you don't feel that and you see yourself doming in the middle, that means you're using way too much rectus abdominis, which is that six-pack muscle in the top. So just try to think about expanding that brace and bracing out versus bracing up or curling up, okay? Breathe in, relax everything, and then breathe out as you contract. Relax, and contract. The other important thing is being able to breathe in all that you possibly can, holding that for a second and then breathing out fully. So what we can do, especially if we have that rib flare, you can see my rib flare even at rest here as my ribs are kind of poking up, is I'm not fully breathing out or fully breathing in, and so I have to just take extra intention to be able to do that, and then that will help get my rib cage down and in line. So taking a big deep breath in, and then breathing out. Continuing to breathe out until you literally can't breathe out anymore. Same thing with the breathing in through your nose, getting a full inhalation until you cannot breathe in anymore. If you're somebody also with that rib flare, in this position, you can also do some breathing in and then crunching like this, and seeing if you can get that rib cage down and then breathing in again and placing your hands on those ribs so that they're not moving as you breathe in. So it's breathing in, keeping those ribs nice and tucked, and then bracing again. And you will notice that your ribs will shift down and down like that. You can also do this in sitting. For a person without a rib flare, you actually have a narrow rib cage. What you can do is think more about expanding using your internal obliques, because odds are you're an ab gripper and you kind of tend to sit like this. You tend to overuse your rectus abdominis, which again is that six-pack muscle, or your external obliques. So thinking about when you brace, you're spreading the leg, trying to engage that internal oblique. I'll show you an example of what you can do if that is you, if you are somebody with a narrow angle when you put your thumbs here. So that would be less than 90 degrees. What you can do is that same sit-up, but this time when you come up, you're not looking for the crunch of your ribs going down and in. Rather, when you crunch, you're looking for more of a spread. So you don't want your abs to dome, which they probably will if you are an upper ab gripper or you notice that you have a narrow rib cage. Instead, I want you to crunch and think about flattening that belly as you crunch. Thinking about that TA, so you can put your hands here so your fingers feel the muscles popping up. Now, even if you don't have a narrow or a wide angle, you can always work on breathing in another position or always add resistance. So another way that you can work on breathing is getting on hands and knees. You're gonna place your hands right underneath your shoulders and your knees right underneath your hip. From there, you're gonna find pelvic neutral. So it's not gonna be lumbar lordosis or anterior pelvic tilt, nor is it gonna be this curved posterior pelvic tilt, but right in between. From there, you're gonna breathe just like we practice on your back. So breathing in and expanding back, body, and sides, and breathe out and contract it off. You will feel that your pelvic floor contracts as well. That is a good thing, okay? It's natural for when you contract your abs and breathe out that your pelvic floor naturally contracts. So breathing in and breathing out. You can also put your hands on your hip just to see you're doing this correctly, or you can place yourself in front of a mirror to see how you're doing. If you don't have a mirror that is ground level, you can always record yourself and try that way so you can re-look at it, put it in pause, all those kinds of things. So breathing in, breathing out, and contracting. Another way to progress this exercise is to use a balloon. But just like with any other exercise, you want to make sure form is good before you increase the load or the weight. The same goes for breathing. So make sure you have that good form, make sure somebody has looked at it, corrected it, or you have at least filmed yourself and looked at yourself that way, and then you can add the balloon. With the balloon, what you'll do is you'll put it in your mouth and you're going to breathe into it as you contract, just like you were breathing out before. And then you're going to breathe in only with your nose because you don't want to suck air out of that balloon. So I'll show you what it looks like. Breathing in through your nose. Just like that. You can also use this balloon in different positions, so it doesn't just have to be in quadruped, but you can do it in different loads. You can do it while you're squatting or other functional positions as well to add a little bit of resistance to that breath. Now, while that might have seemed like a comprehensive educational session on breathing, there's so much more to learn. So if you want more help with your breath and your performance, please reach out to me at itiswellpt@gmail.com or visit my website, itiswellpt.com, for more information. For now, I hope you learned something that you can use today to not only become a better breather, but also to perform better and have a better quality of life, because that's what we are all about, to provide hope, renewal, revival, and freedom. Make sure to like and subscribe this channel if you enjoyed this, and even share it with your friends and family who might want or need to breathe and perform better. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.